Hi, welcome to Sher Spotlight. Sher Vancouver is a registered charity for queer South Asians, and today we're here with Annie Ohana.
Hello.
Annie, thanks for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thanks for being here. Tell me about yourself and what you do for Sher.
Oh gosh, where do I begin?
Where do you begin?
I'm very lucky to be involved with Sher for quite a few years now. I first got started basically as like a curriculum writer of sorts on Alex's first film, or I guess Sher Vancouver's first film. My name was January, who was a former Ellie Matheson student, actually, way back in the day.
I had the honor of meeting January.
Oh, wow. Yes. Okay, I have not. Okay. It's interesting. So I met them after the fact, which was kind of cool because it's such a celebratory film. Yeah. So I feel like I know them, but sadly never got a chance to. So that was my first foray into Sher Vancouver, and because I work in Surrey and I teach at a school that's majorly BIPOC, a lot of South Asian youth. It was just a great chance to really connect with an organization that actually impacts my life daily. And since then, just whatever's needed, right? I am there, whether it's advocating for queer rights or just helping write curriculum or doing presentations, whatever Alex and the others want, I'm always more than happy to help.
I love that. Yeah. So what's your role with Sher currently right now?
So I am a board member, so that's my official role. But under that, I do a lot of diversity work, right?
Amazing.
And anti-oppression and writing curriculum guides that can be used in multiple levels. Because that's the thing with any films or resources that are developed, they're not going to get as far if you don't have that kind of material, right?
Totally.
So working with Sharon Sarai, for example, in the latest film of Emergence, I'm hoping I get to do iMigrant as well. So board member generally, which is wonderful. But under that, Sher has so many amazing opportunities.
Totally.
So the chance to be involved in those different segments without a title is really great.
Cool. Yeah. So on a day-to-day basis, what would your day look like working with Sher? What are you doing and involvement, whether it's interacting with people or what does that entail?
I think a big one right now is just representing Sher, because there's only so much we can do in a typical day. So whether that's attending events and speaking about what the organization does and all the different amazing resources we have and monthly meetups, things like that. But then generally it's a little bit of paperwork, right? So doing the research, watching films, talking to other community, so I'm not trans, so I'm not going to know that trans experience. So it might be looking that up, right? But then I bring my educational background and my master's in equity studies to play when I'm writing. I know, right? You got to drop it, right? This is not just heart stuff, right? It's it's up here too. Because we know. There was a backlash to these things.
Totally.
And so when you're doing that work, even if it's just sitting down and writing curriculum, you've got to make sure you hit the right notes, that you defend human rights, and that you celebrate the community, right? Yeah. So that's part of the work. So when you're in any area, right? Not everybody is always so well versed in queer issues. So whether it's a KPU gala or whatever, you're there to represent.
Did you attend that one?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yes, I know. Yeah, we sat at different tables. That's what happened. So to me, I'm always representing Sher no matter what. But in the specific instances where you're sent out, it is very much about how to help people understand the issues. And because it's a BIPOC organization, because especially with Emergence, the film brings in those ties of tradition and faith and family.
Yes.
Those are all the big ones right now, right? People pushing back on that. So what a great honor to do that, on an almost daily basis. Because even at Matheson, it's something that kids know. So it's a daily thing, right? You have to represent every single day.
I love that. And you do so much. I know your name was popping up in so many different conversations and stuff. And I was I can't wait to meet you. And I'm glad we get to have this conversation.
Absolutely.
And thank you.
Yeah.
And outside of Sher, I know you're basically what you do for Sher is kind of what you do for a living as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm very lucky. I'm the Indigenous department head, but I get to teach things like social justice and law. So I put a lot of those lenses into what I teach because I think it's important we do that. I went to high school in Southern Florida, and to see I know. And when I see what is happening there now, when queer educators, they can't exist in that system. You can't teach about this stuff and forget about anything to do with Black, Indigenous, people of color. I'm Jewish by faith. All of that's going away. And I sound so dramatic, but I'm not.
No,
the laws are that bad. So here we are in Canada with the opportunity to make sure that doesn't get that far.
Right.
I get to do this stuff every day. So as one kid said, I practice what I preach. So if I'm at school teaching something, I'm not just like power tripping, right?
Right.
I'm doing that in the community as well for whatever organization needs that help. So yeah, I community organize. I do a lot of different things, and because I have the privilege to do that, right?
Amazing.
If I have a voice,
that.
if whatever I have, you have to be there. And I feel like in a way, like sometimes you're more protected than some other people.
True.
So I don't think the burden should always be on queer people or Black people or this people.
Yeah.
Like you need to think about, how do I do this so if I have some privilege, I can get out there and be that shield, right?
I love that. That's amazing. Because I know, like, for like me, for example, like growing up and like in my community back in the days when I was in high school and stuff, we didn't even have these type of resources or people available to even talk to or look at or look up to. So it's amazing that someone like you is like in the district of the schools and like we're teaching at these schools and teaching all these subjects and topics and like having those conversations that are so important that people can actually relate to and feel seen.
Yeah.
I
never saw myself in textbooks. I never heard of anything about the queer community in my many schools. And so kind of being in that position now where you're members of different communities, whether it's queer community, whatever it is. And it's like, well, I want to be heard. I want to be seen, right? I want to be respected, but also that the kids can see themselves.
I love that. Thank you. So like, what's upcoming and Share for you right now? Like, do you have any like fun projects that you're working on or anything that's...
Yeah, so like I said, the iMigrant film, because that's, under work right now. So I'm looking forward to knowing more so I can start like the research and, when this film comes out, how do we put it out there to different elements in the education system.
Are you part of the outreach as well?
Not directly, but I do outreach on other things, right? Yeah. So, and that again is part of the work. So even with Emergence, right? Getting it into even more schools.
That is
getting
a beautiful
it into
film,
hands.
so everyone please watch it if you haven't.
It is Emergence and a must watch. I think right now, and maybe I'll talk to Alex about it, but to me, because there's some backlash from parents, and we keep hearing like kind of like these secretive things happening, I kind of want to bust the door open on that and really have Cher be part of the pushback through positive interactions, positive dialogues with parents in many communities. And I feel like we can get somewhere. So that kind of outreach is kind of the next kind of goal, right? And then again, whatever is needed, I'm up for it.
So now we're going to do a round of rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yes, 100%.
Alrighty. Okay, so what is your most useless talent?
Useless talent.
Not useful.
Not useful, useless talent. Oh my God, that's a hard question.
Okay, we can skip it.
My most useless talent. I don't even know.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
No, it's a great question. A useless
Should we say
talent.
Useful?
Well, I mean, useful is boring though.
Yeah, okay, useless.
Like useful. I can read quickly, but useless talent.
I just put you on the spot. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no. I never thought of this question in my life. I'm so sorry. I'm starting off on a bad foot.
Are you a coffee or tea person?
Tea.
Tea.
Yeah.
Great. What type of tea?
Yeah, Earl Grey.
Earl Grey.
Boring,
Beautiful. No, it's great.
Yeah.
Are you a night owl or morning bird?
Oof. Everything. I mean, night owl because I do it a lot. But yeah, night owl.
Okay, night owl. Have you ever been to a live concert?
Absolutely.
Of course. Who is your favorite actor?
Favorite actor? Oh my goodness.
Or one of your favorites?
One of my favorites. Denzel Washington. It's amazing. Amazing. Love them.
What would you do with $1 million?
Oof. I would invest it back in the community and set up some like resources for our students that really need it. Absolutely.
Love that.
Yeah, like what can you do with $1 million here in Vancouver anyways? But definitely investments into some, like as a teacher, we don't get a lot of great funding. I spend a lot of my own money. Like if it was just given to me, then I would try to spread it around.
I love that, giving back.
Yeah.
Which TV show would you love to be featured in?
Oh gosh.
Oh. I'm like thinking about myself for each question.
Well, you know what? It would be to be like disruptive.
Okay.
So everybody now is like, I'm old enough that like Friends was the big thing. Like, but it's really problematic, that show. So I want to be there just to like.
Just to switch it around?
Yeah, exactly. Just to cause chaos.
To be the chaos. Okay.
Exactly.
So at the same time, I love that.
Yeah.
If you could travel the world for free, where would you go first?
Ooh.
Oh.
Thailand.
Why? I'm just curious.
I've been doing a lot of research about like the queer gender spectrum, or just gender spectrum, I should say. And I'm just fascinated because the way I first learned about it was more of like the criminal, like sex trafficking kind of vibe to it. But now that I know so much more, and just the culture seems amazing. So definitely Thailand would be a first stop.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then last question, what would be the title of your autobiography?
That's another hard one.
All the deep questions.
Yeah.
Let's put you on the spot. You can think about it. A moment of silence.
Let's choose. I have a couple, I guess, in my head. I'm trying to. Don't you dare shut up.
Ooh, I will not. Yeah. I love that.
Exactly. See?
Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for joining
Thank you so
us
much.
today.
It was fun.
Okay, thanks for coming here. I appreciate you.
Yeah, 100%.